Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam ala Rasulillah. Where's my cup?
We knew we were forgetting something.
No, because these Wahhabis normally they do it. They bring food but no spoon. Okay. They bring, for example, tea but not a cup. Just another way of saying, you know, it's your. Or they bring sweets, for example, look, but not a fork, you know. Spoon that. Shall I check? No, but okay, so what about it? Okay, anyway, first of all, I'm really happy to see all of you guys here. It's quite important that today we're going to talk about, for me, is, I would say, life-threatening topic. It is the topic of our descendants, it's the topic of our kids, okay, because we saw all sorts of things. We brought up, some of us were lucky because we have been disciplined just amazingly. But some of us, maybe our parents, they were busy, maybe our parents were struggling financially or psychologically, or maybe physically illness. So they were unable to give us that discipline which would prepare us for the life. And our life now, it's not as easy as our parents may think. Obviously, they saw certain types of wars, but what we see now is not less. You understand? So means some of us now facing that problems, and he is very well equipped. He is ready to face and ready to protect not only himself, but big group of people behind his back, because his shoulder is rock solid. But some of us are not that strongly equipped, because they weren't disciplined by their parents for some certain reasons. Our parents, they had their own excuse, okay? So maybe they were too much into the work just to provide something for us, you know. So now what these people are going to do now, some of them will fall into the depression. Some of them means us, me, you, some of us will be stressed about the problems. We may end up committing suicide because the problems that we're facing is too much. And I cannot see my kids struggling because I'm unable to protect them. I will end up in suicide. Okay? Or I may try many different jobs, but I'm not equipped in any of them. I'm going to fail. So the end result is depression regardless. Most of the people. Now, for example, if you have 20 of us here, I can guarantee that 18 of us have got depression, different level of depression. I can take off if you guys want. And I'm successful in my both. Some of us will live with this depression. Now they're living with this depression, okay? And some of us, maybe time to time, we're taking our time to empty ourselves by crying, okay? By drugs, smoking, drinking, you know? Because it's too much in there. It's too much in there, you know? And we are fortunate that we're living in the UK where we have financial support in place. System is just amazing. So can you imagine that with your skills, where there are no skills, if you would be in one of the countries in which there is no any benefits, there is no any financial support from the government, what would happen? Now you would be begging in the street, you know? So anyway, In 2 words, we are brought up, some of us were very lucky. Our parents were well educated to look after us, to train us academically, to make us to write, to read, to create something, to make something, to develop our skills, to prepare us for that life which we can see now. But some of us were unlucky. So these unlucky people, regardless what's the reason for their parents not disciplining, maybe they had good reason, excuse, but I call them orphans. Their parents are alive, but they're orphans, because having parent does not mean having a sculpture with the flesh and bone that moves, isn't it? Having father, having mother means that you are getting what you have right to get from them, not only their physical existence in your house. Okay? Anyway, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. All believers, protect yourself and protect your families from the fire. Ahlikum. What's the meaning of ahl? It's your wife, it's your kids. When you close your doors in the evening, anyone who is inside, all of them are your ahl. Do you remember angels coming to the house of Ibrahim alayhi salam? Just before leaving, angels said, Salamun alaykum ahl al-bayt. O people of the house, may peace be upon you. Who were in the house? It was Ismail and it was, say, Sarah and Hajar. Okay, so it was the wife and son of Prophet Ibrahim. So your ahl that you are responsible to take care of, to protect them from the hellfire is your wife and your children, including your male children if they live with you, as well as your adopted children. Okay. Obviously, in the next maybe lecture, in one of our next lectures, we will discuss your responsibility of protecting your wife from the hellfire. But today's topic is the children. Because we do not have that long time, so that's why I want to explain everything very briefly. Quran is self-evident and explains itself. So Quran is sufficient to explain what exactly God means by protecting our family. So, in order to understand protecting the children, let's look into the examples of the children which is mentioned in Quran. 2 children in the story of Quran. One of them is Prophet Yahya and one of them is Prophet Isa. Both mentioned in Surah Maryam. In there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, speaks about Prophet Yahya, says that he was barran biwalidayhi wa lam yakun jabbaran asiyya. Jabbar, asi. So he was bar, one description, and the second is he was not jabbar and he was not asi. And exactly after few verses, God describes Isa alayhi salam, but Isa alayhi salam describes himself. Because he was granted the prophethood from the childhood, isn't it? So Prophet Isa says, وَبَرًّا بِوَالِدَتِي. So, bar, as Yahya alayhi salam. وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْنِي جَبَّارًا. And I am not created as Jabbar, I'm not Jabbar. So both share 2 qualities. But third one, with Yahya alayhi salam, I'm not Asi. But with Isa alayhi salam, I'm not Shaqi. Okay, how come? 2 prophets, cousins because their mothers are sisters. One of them, both of them share three qualities. In two they share same thing, but in one they differ from each other. So both are bar, I'll explain, and both are not jabbar. Neither is jabbar, but one, Yahya alayhi salam, is not asi, but Isa alayhi salam is not shaqi. You know, the language that God uses, so small letter, if God changes small letter, would you expect it gives big meaning? For example, do you know, the place to where we go for Hajj, what's the name of that place? City. Mecca. But what God named that? Bakka. Well, is it Mecca or is it Bakka? Makhraj is same, isn't it? There's a place where we pronounce both of the letters, mim and ba, same, between the lips. Makkah, Bakka. Okay, so what's the difference between here and that? Obviously what scholars say, so Bakka is coming from Buka, place of crying. Now tell me the city in which people cry most. It's in Mecca, isn't it? I don't believe that even in Vatican people cry more than, it is a place, glorious, respectable place, isn't it? But do people cry? As for example, only in Laylatul Qadr. Do you watch the video when this Qari makes dua? Everyone cries, isn't it? 4 million people cry. So we're talking about only one day, you know? So now we have all of them, Hajj periods, Umrah, continuously crying. So that's why Allah did not say it's Mecca, but God said Bakka. Okay, and that is from our theologians. But our mashayikh, Sufi mashayikh, they gave even much more deeper philosophical meaning. Why God, instead of saying Mecca, says Bakka? We'll talk about it some other day. So as you can see, God's language, I mean, when God speaks, when God chooses some certain words to use for us, so He makes a lot of sense in that. Okay. So let's take the words one by one. Bar. What's the meaning of bar? Bar means being nice. Bar. So he is nice. But being nice in here, bar is only towards the parents only. Okay? And time to time they use this verb of bar between the wife and husband. But bar mainly used for the parents. Okay? So you do not say if you are obedient slave of God, you do not say bar. You say mutiya. Ta'i'a mutiya. But if you want to say obedient son, you say bar. Okay? Yeah. So both of Isa alayhi salam and Yahya, both are bar toward the parents. Neither of them are jabbar. What's the meaning of jabbar? Do you know these harsh, tough people? Anyone can give me an example of a people with tough character? Okay. Any other? Okay. Anything else? Okay, jabbar. No, because we're talking about the child's behavior. So do you think children act as presidents? So you should give me the example of the children when they act in very tough behavior. For example, son comes, mother prepared, for example, some food, rice. Okay, son says, why is not curry? That is jabbar. Okay? So nothing pleases him and he's very tough, disgraceful, and there is no any softness. So neither of Isa and neither of Prophet Yahya alayhi salam, neither of them is jabbar. But with Yahya alayhi salam, he is not asi. Asi is rebellious, disobedient. Asani, rebelling and disobeying. Okay? Rebellious and disobedient. So there could be some certain occasions in which you do not obey. Okay? So there is no obedience, but sometimes disobedience will be rebelliously. You understand? So for example, I will say to you, please can you make tea for me? You will say, okay, but then you do not do. You're disobedient. But if you say, I'm not going to do it, that is isyan. Understand? So about Yahya alayhi salam, Allah says he is not asi. But about Isa alayhi salam, his description is that he is not shaqi. Shaqiyun is misfortune. Person who is not fortune. He does not have fortune. Okay? You know, because obviously we are talking about the children, okay, and disciplining our kids. Let me just give you a few examples which I actually witnessed by myself. I have, you can say, our family friend from my mother's side. Obviously they are Persians, okay, we're coming from, you can say, mixed background, but so anyway, so this person, he was quite poor, okay, him and his family, everyone, okay, but he had got a lot of kids. So one of his kids now, he is now about 70 and plus. One of his sons now is very, very wealthy, okay. They are coming from one of the small towns, okay, small towns in Uzbekistan, but his son now lives in capital city in Tashkent, where we live, okay. His son, believe me, has 7 houses, different ones, and so many shops, okay, and as a minimum about 5 to 10 cars, different ones, you know. He's quite wealthy, so very wealthy person, and he's, do you believe me that his parents till today eat that dry bread that people give them? Now question, where did he gain this type of strange character? Okay, and even his one of his sisters, I think, she supposed to be having some certain operation, medical cancer, something. So, do you believe that this person did not contribute even a penny? You understand? So we are dealing with very difficult situation. So what made this person, by the way, because no one knows this person, so his name is Riyaz. Riyaz. So he is somehow related to me. Okay, so he's older than me, but related to me. Persian guy from Uzbekistan. Okay, so he's Muslim. So it's not that because straight away he makes, yeah, he's Gore. No, not Gore. Not Gore. He's white guy, you know, blonde person because he's Persian, but Muslim, not Shia, Muslim, Sunni, Hanafi, you know, Naqshbandi. What else do you want? Okay, so he's one of us. Okay. So that is one situation. Okay. And the second scenario, again, it happened in front of my eyes, but it's not. The person is not related to us, but it is 2 brothers. In the childhood, they were undetachable from each other. They used to love each other so strongly. Okay, but again, both are coming from very poor background. So their father passed away. He had only just one house, but because no money, no nothing, so brothers, they were sharing the same house. Okay, so when they married, so when both of them married in the same year, because no money, you know, just to make it a bit cheaper, so their mother, because their father passed away long ago, so their mother made the marriage wedding in the same time, okay, within 1 year, because of that frictions between the brothers, they had to split the same house into 2 parts. They made a wall. It is very tight house, you know. You understand? So house with the yard, backyard. So they had to make wall. You understand? And their mother does not have a room in any of them 2 houses. she lives with her sister. You understand? And what was the problem? Because, you know, the friction between the wives, women, small little issues, you know. Today I went to ask for salt, but she did not give me. You know, this type of little things, you know. I don't mean the women, but come with them, they, you know, between the women they have this. And then these issues went to the level of men, you know, brothers. So it made them to just split up the house, a very small house, into two. So it is two examples of the people who were not disciplined correctly. I'm not blaming their parents, you know. I'm not blaming their parents. Because our parents, maybe these parents, in both of the cases, they were very poor, you know. So they had to work from the morning till evening. So father would come back only to sleep, because next day he has to go out to bring some money. Okay. So then, where is the command of God? قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا. Protect yourselves and protect your families, means wife and children, from the fire. So they were not disciplined correctly. You know, giving hardship to your own family members in Islam is classed as one of the major sins. We call it qatiyah. Okay? And there are quite dangerous statements of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, in which he actually warns from qatiyah. Qatiyah is cut off. Linguistically, is to cut off something, to cut something. Qatiyah means to cut off from your friends or from your relatives. Okay, qati'atul rahim, silatul rahim. So it's your relatives, your brothers in the second situation. Okay, your mother and father in the first situation. So qati'ah happened. Okay, but then whom do I have to blame? So they were not ready, you know. They were not ready. Maybe before we'll go back to the story of Isa alayhi salam and Yahya alayhi salam, just to highlight, you know, our children, they do what they see. Our children, what they see from us. Okay, so it could be that in the second situation, because father was dead, so he could not contribute towards tarbiyah of his sons, two sons. Okay, so it was the softness of the mother. Not only physical softness, but women normally emotionally and mentally soft also. Am I right? Yes. So the friction which happened between two brothers because of the weakness of their intellect. So it is nothing but it is echo of the weakness of the mother. Because that small issues which happen between the wives, so husbands who are brothers, they had to have strong intellect to work out, to understand that it is nothing in comparison to the relationship between the brothers. So means these two sons, they did not get that strength in the character. Because strength, emotional, physical, and intellectual weakness of the mother, it gave its impact on the behavior and weak intellect of the children. So in that type of situations, they were unable to work out what is wise to do. Okay? And in the second situation, we are having a bit difficult and slightly different issue. Because son rebelled against his parents. In the first scenario, it's weakness of the intellect. So they were unable to sort out this small problem, and they gave very high level to small issues. The issue could be, I went to ask for salt. She did not give it to me. Small issues, but they gave to this small issue, very high level, and because of that, they just split up into two. But in here, son is rebelling against the father and mother. So what could be the reason? So in here, it's nothing to do with the weakness. Okay, but it's actually strength. We are dealing with strength which caused error. Because he's rebelling against his parents. He's wealthy, but not willing to help his parents. Rebellion. So it is to do with his strength. So I assume, most likely, because this family is not educated, and normally in non-educated family, father will have this habit of beating his wife. Harshness, strength. So this strength left its footprint in the behavior of the son. Now son is rebelling against them all. Not only against the mother, but even against the father. Anyway, coming back to, so from here we understood that the error in the disciplining our kids will be caused by parents in two ways. Either weakness or either strength. Weakness in the place where you have to be strong, or the strength in the place where you have to be soft. You understand? Now, going back. Why Allah describes Yahya alayhi salam that he is not rebellious. وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْنِي وَلَمْ يَكُ جَبَّارًا عَصِيًّا. He was not Jabbar and he was not Asi also. But when Isa alayhi salam speaks about himself, he says, بَرًّا بِوَالِدَتِي, I'm quite obedient to my mother. وَلَمْ أَكُ Jabbaran Shaqiyya. And I was not, and I'm not Jabbar, and I'm not Shaqi also. Because what normally makes us to be unfortunate, unlucky in our life, it's our softness, our weakness, isn't it? Weakness because, for example, the places in which you're supposed to just jump out and go and apply, you feel ashamed. You understand? So you're unfortunate, you're unlucky, you lost that maybe job. Why? Because of your shyness, and shyness is weakness. Understand? So you are shaqi because of your weakness. And what normally causes the weakness in the child? So most likely, it's when he has only mother. Because where do we learn our strength in our character? From our fathers, isn't it? We see how our fathers are dealing masculinely with the problems, solving the problems masculinely. That's how we learn the strength. But in the same time, sometimes our fathers could be over-exaggerating, you know, too much tough. And then it causes, in the character of the child, it causes that extra strength, which is not requested, which is not needed. So the people with extra tough character, most likely they learn it from their fathers. So that's why Yahya alayhi salatu wasalam, he has both of father and mother. So there is fear. There is fear that he may. There is fear that he may develop. There is a fear that Yahya alayhi salatu wasalam may develop that extra strength which is not needed. Understand? So the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about Yahya alayhi salam that he is not rebelliously tough, because his father was there and his father was not that tough guy, because his father is Zakaria alayhi salatu wasalam, that noble prophet. But what about Isa alayhi salam? Because miraculously he was born with no father, isn't it? So there is possibility that he will be too soft, too shy, so he will just give away, give out the things which even belongs to him. So will be unfortunate in the life. So he says, وَلَمْ أَكُ جَبَّارًا شَقِيًّا. So I'm not shaqi. So that strength in the character which I'm supposed to be getting from my father, because God secured my birth with no father miraculously, so God took care of even the place of the father in the life of the son. So I do have everything which is requested to go and face the life. Given prophethood from the childhood. So from these two stories, we learn what is needed to discipline our children. So the main error is either the softness, where strength is requested to be expressed, or strength, damaging strength, in the places where it's requested from you to be soft and gentle. So these two things make our children not to be well equipped in the life. Tarbiyah and discipline does not go well. Let's give some life examples. For example, let's suppose that you wake up today morning and for example, son says that I don't want to go to this school. Why? Pretends that I'm ill. You know he's lying. Now my question to you guys, what do you have to do? So this problem, it is a problem because you know that he's lying. He just does not want to go to the school because of some reason. Maybe there was some friction yesterday, or maybe one of the teachers abused, you understand? So there was some error, and your son is not willing to go to the school. And then he makes up a lie. Means you have to fix it. But what is requested now to fix? Is it strength or is it softness? What do you have to do now? What do you think? Softness. Strength. How?
Not listening to the excuse.
Isn't it?
No.
Squeezing the teeth. If it's needed.
If you tell them, you should listen to you.
Yeah, so and then if not, so then? Yeah, I agree. Anything else? You know, Quran comes back to teach us and to answer even to this question. You know, we Muslims, if we thank God from the day we were born up to the death, we will be unable to fulfill the gratefulness for Him revealing this book called Quran. Because He even explains what you have to do in this specific issue in which your son is making up a story and lying. You understand? So, do you have to be as apne style, you know? And ganda, you know? So Allah says, Allah mentions the story of Luqman. إِذْ قَالَ لُقْمَانُ لِابْنِهِ. Do you remember when Luqman said to his son? So, we're not talking about Luqman telling, but saying. Why? Because Luqman alayhi salam says to his son, Ya bunayya. Whenever Luqman speaks to his son, Ya bunayya. What's the meaning of bunayya? Son in Arabic language is ibn, Ya ibni. But Luqman says Ya bunayya. What's the meaning of bunayya? Dear son. Ata ibn Abi Rabah, one of the glorious tabi'een, says that son of Luqman alayhi salam was hypocrite. Used to say that I believe, but he used to disbelieve. Look how Luqman alayhi salam is speaking. He's not, I have to kill you. because you're disbelieving in the opinion of Abu Hanifa, you know. So he says, Ya Bunayya, dear son, that is the way of handling the situation. But isn't it that being tough is needed, 100%. Being tough does not mean beating up or insulting, but insisting on your point. So you saw the error, you have to be tough, means don't let it go. Solve it. But solve it by saying, Ya Bunayya. Ya Bunayya. Do you understand? But then what do you have to say? So when you say, dear son, get lost to your school, you know. But you said, dear son, Ya Bunayya, you know, Luqman, Hakim, you know. Luqman alayhi salam says, وَخْفِضْ مِنْ صَوْتِكَ, decrease the volume of your voice. Why? إِنَّ أَنْكَرَ الْأَصْوَاتِ لَصَوْتُ الْحَمِيرِ. Because the most disgusting voices are the sounds of the donkeys. Give example. Make your son to dislike his behavior. But don't say that you look like a donkey and the donkey is the most ugliest, as Luqman said. Luqman never said that. He said, decrease your voice. Because the most disgusting voice is the voice of the donkey. Because you know, it's most loudest. Did you guys have a chance of living in the villages? I used to, you know, I tried the donkey, you know, for a couple of times. You know. It just makes noise, you know, very loudly, you know. Once I was just riding, okay, I'm not the expert, so I went to the village, so I tried to, and then some lady was just coming, you know. So I thought, now when we will be just, you know, on the same level, I will say Assalamu alaikum, you know. And so I was going, and she was just coming, you know, on the same street, okay. And for some reason, my donkey did bad adabi, you know, made sound, but not screaming sound, you know, other sound, you know. So I was isn't, you know. So just because I was preparing myself to say Assalamu alaikum. But anyway, so that is the moral of the story is you have to be tough. But being tough is don't let this error go like that. Okay? But insist to correct it. Okay? But you have to correct it on the level of the children, not on your level. Because in our level we beat, we fight, we insult, we shout, isn't it? But our children, they don't understand that. Because they don't have that principles or background which will support them to deal with their error. Because not yet you did fill that gap, you know. You didn't give that principle yet. Okay? So means that you have to handle the case gently, but firmly. Firmly means do not let it go without being fixed. But in the same time, not by shouting and using offensive language. Okay? So anyway, but if you will shout in that situation, first of all, you will carry on. Because you did not prove that lying is wrong by shouting, isn't it? Means you will carry on lying because you did not fix the problem, mistake of lying, but only you created extra error. And that is hypocrisy, because now he's scared. Next time you will make sure that he will lie, but on the way you will not realize. So, in order to correct the error, you created another error. Okay? So anyway, so that is, inshallah, very, you can say, short advice to all of us, because, as I said, we were born and we grew up. And some of us were lucky because we were born in the family in which our fathers and mothers, they gave good discipline. They prepared us to face all of these problems. But some of us were unfortunate. We were born in the family in which our parents, they were too busy to feed us. They didn't have a time for us. Okay, so we just grew up empty-headed and no equipment, no any instruments to face the challenges of the life. So most of us now suicidal because of that. So anyway, do not make the life of your children as your own life. Give them that equipment by which they will one day stand up and they will say, I was really lucky to have this person to be my father and my mother. So as Quran explicitly explaining, the error in the discipline of children will be caused by two reasons. The strength, where strength is not requested, and the softness, where softness is not requested. If you are too soft, you will make your child shaqi, unfortunate. If you will be too tough, you will make your child to be rebellious. Okay, rebelling against the society, rebelling against the people, against the friends, against the manager, against them. So will end up in big hole of problems. So make sure that you will first analyze your own behavior with your children. So if you was too soft, so balance that. But if you was too tough, balance that also. And make sure that your children will have both of their fathers and mothers in the house. It's not that only mother, but the voice of father should be there also. And that's how they will grow up by all of the skills which is needed for the life. Wisdom and strength from the father, and mercy and caring from the mother. That's how they will be complete, perfect human being. Inshallah, that's all for today, and I hope that inshallah we'll try to improve our situation and the problems which we saw by ourselves. I don't want our children to see that also, to experience that also, because it was quite painful experiences that we had in our life. And the genuine human is not the human that never mistakes, but the genuine human is the one who makes errors, but corrects the errors also. And the life is the best ever teacher. So you don't have to go to look for the awliya who are known, who in some of the caves, but the place in which you are living, you have got 10,000 teachers. Learn from everything and everything. Improve your life and make sure that you pass good tarbiyah to your children. And make sure that your children one day, when they will find themselves enjoying the life, they will say, I thank my daddy, I thank my mother, my mommy, because they made me to be able to gain all of that happiness of the life. And that's all for today, and thank you very much for coming. Again, you being in our lecture here is great honor for all of us, because we all participate in these, you can say, lessons, and we all learn from each other. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Any questions? I'm ready. Yeah, as well as the tea, coffee. If they give you a cup, you can drink, or otherwise, I will have it myself.
Okay, you can ask any questions on any topic. Hot topics are like the media that you might have seen recently, or even on Islam, or even herbal medicine. If anybody has any questions,